What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and today I'm going to be predicting the outcome of Lyndon Arthur versus Anthony Yarde 2, and this is going to be a 12-rounder in the light heavyweight division, and this fight is going to be Saturday, December 4th, from the Copper Box Arena in London, England, and this fight is going to be broadcasted on BT Sport in the UK and Fight TV abroad, and to get into both fighters' resumes, Lyndon Arthur, fighting out of the United Kingdom, holds a record of 19 wins, no defeats, with 13 wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked number 11 by BoxRec in the light heavyweight division. And to list some of his best victories, he has a unanimous decision win over Dex Spellman, a split decision win over Anthony Yarde, and a knockout victory over David Faraci. And to get his opponent's resume, Anthony Yarde, also fighting out of the United Kingdom, holds a record of 21 wins, 2 defeats with 20 big wins coming by way of knockout. He's currently ranked number 14 by BoxRec in the light heavyweight division. And to now list his 2 defeats, he has a knockout loss to Sergey Kovalev, and that was for the WBO light heavyweight world title. And he also has a split decision loss, as mentioned before, to Lyndon Arthur in their first fight. And now to list some of his best victories, he has a knockout win over Dex Spellman and a knockout victory over Nikola Sejigaloka. And sorry if I pronounced his name incorrectly. And in my opinion, this fight is going to go in favor of Lyndon Arthur once again. I just think Lyndon Arthur has been working on his jab a bit more, and I think Anthony Yarde will get caught by that jab numerous times, but I do think it will be an extremely close fight, very similar to their first fight, and I think the ending could be roughly identical. I mean, both of these fighters fought really, really well in their first fight. It was fairly entertaining, and either man really could have won. Although I did not watch it live, I remember scoring it 115 to 113, if not 114 to 114 even. I watched it some time after it, but yeah, from what I remember, it was an extremely close fight. I can't really remember who I gave the decision to, but still, I mean, both these fighters are relatively evenly matched based off of their styles. I mean, Lyndon Arthur likes to use that jab, whilst Anthony Yarde is purely a pressure, power punching fighter. So, I mean, it's really a great matchup, and it should be a very, very competitive and fun fight to watch. As of now, I'm seeing a lot of people actually picking Anthony Yarde to actually stop Lyndon Arthur now, which is very possible. Anthony Yarde has excellent, tremendous power. I mean, as you can see by his record, I mean, he's got 20 knockouts and his 21 victories, as I mentioned before. I mean, that definitely goes to show that he is a hard hitter. And he was also able to hurt Sergey Kovalev really, really bad. And I believe it was in the 8th round where Kovalev was just rocky all over the place, doing chicken dances after he's getting hit with yard shots. I mean, he was really hurt in that round. And yeah, for Lyndon Arthur in his last performance, some people weren't really too impressed with him, but he still got the job done, getting that stoppage over David Faraci, who was an unbeaten opponent, who also had somewhat of a decent amateur background. So, I mean, that was a decent win for him. But, yeah, so how I see this fight going down, I see the first 3 rounds going, once again, more in favor of Lyndon Arthur. I think Arthur will establish the jab, and Yarde will really try to work to figure it out and try to counter it in the later rounds like he did in the first fight a bit more. So I think in the middle rounds, Anthony Yarde will start to put on the pressure and actually start to land some nice shots in Lyndon Arthur, and he could win a great amount of those rounds, which could win him the fight. But I think that Lyndon Arthur will sneak enough rounds in there from the middle rounds, and I think some of those rounds will be really, really close based off of how these two fighter styles align. I mean, when you get a fighter who likes to use the jab and a fighter who likes to come forward, I mean, it could really go either way depending on who's doing their part better. I mean, it's if Lyndon Arthur's moving to the right position. It's if he's landing the jab efficiently, if he's backing his jab up with the right hand afterwards. But for Anthony Yarde, I mean, he's got to cut off the ring. Sometimes he's got to come forward. He's got to pressure Lyndon Arthur. He can't make him breathe. He's really got to put on that pressure. But, I mean, as we know, Anthony Yarde's stamina isn't that great. And same with Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur's gas tank isn't the greatest, but I think he will go through this fight. But Anthony Yarde, he looked gassed against Kovalev, and that was his one main fight where he fought for the world title, as I mentioned before. And that's really what lost him the fight, out-punching himself. So he can't do that. He can't have a round where he's throwing all power punches and trying to get Lyndon Arthur out of there. If he drops him, just pinpoint your shots. If Lyndon Arthur's trying to jab his way out, sidestep, land a counter straight. I mean, He can't do what he did against Kovalev because that's what led to his downfall. As I mentioned before, when he had Kovalev hurt, he was really just throwing like cartwheel punches or almost like Wilder's punches where his arms were just flailing all over the place and it looked like he was doing a cartwheel. I mean, it was just he just can't do that in this fight. He can't risk getting tired because he would lose all of those rounds and possibly get stopped because Lyndon Arthur is a very sharp and accurate puncher. And with that being said, going into the later rounds, I think that Anthony Yarde's gassing will let up a bit, and I think Lyndon Arthur, although tired, will win a majority of those rounds with his jab, keeping Anthony Yarde off him. And since in these rounds Yarde wouldn't be as fresh as he was earlier on in the fight in the middle rounds, I think that Arthur should win the later rounds much easier than the others throughout the fight. So overall, with that being said, I see this fight going the distance, obviously, and I think that Lyndon Arthur will win this fight once again by split decision. I think it will be very, very close. I think that Lyndon Arthur will win a majority of the earlier rounds and a majority of the later rounds and some middle rounds in there, but Anthony Yarde will primarily have a success in the middle rounds. So, yeah, I think the judges could score the bout like 115 to 113 twice for Lyndon Arthur, and maybe one judge could have it like 115 to 113 for Yarde. I mean, it's really that type of fight. I think so. I think it's going to be like a carbon copy of their first fight with really, really close pinpoint scorecards that really determine a winner because each round matters in this fight considering how close their first fight was. And I'm very excited to see if Anthony Yarde says, I mean, he said he was going to get the job done and beat Lyndon Arthur and avenge this loss, or will we see repeat and Lyndon Arthur getting the victory, which is what I think. So overall, I believe that Lyndon Arthur will defeat Anthony Yarde by split decision to win twice and to win their rematch. And I think the result will be the same. I think he will get the split decision victory, as I mentioned before. And I think the judges will score the bout 115 to 113 twice in favor of Arthur and 115 to 113 in favor of Yarde. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.